For this study, we're looking at the new fingerstyle song by Vance Joy called Georgia. It's got capo at fret 4, it's got some new chords, we're going to use fingers 1 and pinky only, and it's going to sound something like this. Quite cool. Okay, now we're going to take you through step by step, starting with the first bar, fret number 7 and 8. Notice I'm using my first finger and the pinky the whole way through. We're not going to use fingers 2 and 3 at all for this song. It's not necessary. And also if you use fingers 1 and 4, you'll see the similarity in the shapes and the movements become quite easy. Now while I keep this here, I'm going to zoom in on the picking hand so we can see what the picking pattern looks like. Now you'll notice my pinky is resting on the guitar. That's to help me get location or position. In other words, my hand doesn't drift or do anything strange like that. So my pinky's keeping him steady. Now the thumb is going to play the 5th string, middle finger the 2nd string, and the 1st finger the 3rd string. So your first triplet is going to go twice in a row. And you'll notice if you look at your tab sheet on the PDF I sent along with it, your first 3 notes are the same as the next 3 notes. So it's simply going to go, if you join it, and you finish off with 2 more notes, string 5 and string 3. So your finger picking sequence for your picking hand for the first bar, which is going to be sort of constant for most of the song, is going to look something like this. And I'm going to play the next bar before I show you what to do, to show you that this hand here doesn't change its finger sequence while picking. You can see that this is the same, but you heard there were changes. Let's look at what those changes are. Back to our fretting hand. Now, like we said, 7 and 8, counting obviously from your capo at fret number 4. And you're going to go all the way down to fret number 2 and fret number 3. And you're only going to play the first 3 notes, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to jump up to the next shape, which is a form of the C chord as written underneath on your PDF file. And that's going to go, so that second bar is going to go from here, one more time. Now on that change, you'll notice that what's actually happening is your pinky is going to slide up 2 frets, while your first finger slides up 1. What's the transition? I'm going to do the move now. There you go. Was here, 2 and 3, now it's in 3 and 5. And if I zoom out and I add the picking to it, we're going to have something like this. Okay, and now we're going to do the first and second bar together. Okay, it's going to go, there we go. And with a bit of speed, a nice, clean, quick moves. Your third bar, you take the shape that you ended on, the C shape, and you simply slide up 2 frets and pick again the same sequence. And then if you look at the 4th bar, and if you recognize that, it's because you should. The 4th bar and the 2nd bar are identical. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to try and get fingers 2 and 3 out the way. This feels very uncomfortable, just to show you the placement of the fingers. And I'm going to play it through slowly so you can see the movement of the picking and the fretting hands together. If you want to play through with, you're welcome. I'm going to count us in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... and with a bit of speed now. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's as simple as that. Now, you played it through 4 times for the verse while he's singing, and obviously he plays it as an introduction as well. So you're playing it through, I think, 6 times. But the important part is 4 times while you're singing, and then after the 4th one, you do this. Now, these are the 2 bars just to the right of verse 1 on your PDF file. It's a C and a D. But you'll notice that your picking pattern is slightly different by one whole note at the end. Let's have a look at that. We're going to do the last two bars, the C and D. Now normally your picking pattern goes like this. And it ends on that note, right? But when it goes to the D, it doesn't end on that string, it ends on that string. Watch this out. Because you'd expect it to go there, but it doesn't. If you accidentally play the wrong string, trust me, no one's going to know. But for a purist point of view, let's try and get the right ones. Okay. Now we've got your verse under control. We've got that under wraps. We're going to go to the chorus. The chorus starts off exactly the same, basically, as your verse. So you've got the E minor again. Sorry, it's a bit too far there. Busy reading and looking at the same time. Okay, one more time. And you're just moving back from here to there. That's the D, that's the second bar. But for the G, now you're going to have this. And the only real difference over here, which is quite an important difference because it's for the bass note, is that normally you've been playing the 5th string, right? For the G, you're going to go to the 6th string. But the other two fingers are still working on the 2nd and 3rd string. So it's only the thumb that shifted from the 5th string to the 6th string and nothing else changes. Then after that you drop back down to the C and you have back to normal. Okay. Now let's have a look at the overview of that. So you can just see the finger movements. You're going to go from the E minor 7. Okay, you're going to go to the D. You're going to go to the G. Notice that your pinky actually gets lifted off for a change and then drops back down for the C over here. So slow motion, we're going to have something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course you just pick up some speed there. And that in essence is Georgia by Vance Joy. If you've got your picking pattern working well, that's all you really need to know. If you're looking at your PDF, there are subtle little changes over there. You're going to see for the end part, for example, there's a bridge. And he doesn't play the picking part exactly the same. He starts off, for example, with the... and he stops there. And he goes to D. And he brings the finger down like that. Now I'm just flattening it. You can also do this. Finger like that as well if you want to. And just so you know where I am on the PDF sheet, we're looking at right at the end, basically 3/4 way down after the end of the text for the chorus, and you're looking at the E minor and D, and you can see the picking patterns all start the same, they just end a little bit different. So there's a slight variety, a slight variation in it, but nothing's really changed there. And if you get stuck, let me know, obviously, but in essence, you've got all the tools and all the skills and all the techniques now to play through Georgia by Vance Joy. Looking forward to hearing from you. Hoping you enjoy the song. Have an awesome week. Take care.